Welcome to Brewers Daily, a Thanksgiving edition of Brewers Daily, as we're here with you every single day, yes, including holidays, covering our favorite team, the Milwaukee Brewers. Lots to get to, including some Thanksgiving-themed content here on the show today. I'm your host, Dave Gasper, and big news across Major League Baseball that has come out recently here. Dylan Cease, one of the top free agents on the market. He is off the board. He has signed with the Toronto Blue Jays for 7 years and $210 million. Now, there's a lot of impact across Major League Baseball and what this means, and we'll dive into it here and what it means for the Brewers, the NL Central, and Freddie Peralta, kind of more specifically here. But this is kind of the big news. I mean, before Thanksgiving here, we have one of the top free agents off the board. Now, typically, free agency is a slow burn in Major League Baseball. But Dylan Cease wasting no time. He says, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to set the market. And, if someone offers you $210 million, it's hard to say no. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be hard to say no to $210 million. Why wait around if that offer's on the table? And the Blue Jays put it out there. So Dylan Cease goes from the San Diego Padres to the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays trying to beef up their rotation after coming up just short in the World Series. You saw the rotation that the Dodgers had, how that played an impact on the series. So the Blue Jays want to beef up their rotation a little bit more, and they get Dylan Cease in order to do that. So this is... okay. The Brewers are not shopping in the Dylan Cease market to begin with, okay? So it's not like one of the top Brewers targets is off the board. But there is some impact on what this means and the ripple effect it'll have on the Milwaukee Brewers in a couple of different ways. And what I want to start with is Freddie Peralta and the ripple effect it's going to have there. Because Freddie Peralta, we've talked about him as a trade candidate quite a bit here on the show. It's going to be talked about all throughout the offseason until either ultimately it happens or until we get to spring training and Freddie Peralta is still on the team. So Freddie Peralta is a year away from free agency. He's making $8 million this year on a club option that he signed all the way back in 2020 before he really blossomed into a starting pitcher. And over the past couple of years, he has been incredible as a starting pitcher and the ace of the club. And his comparisons to Dylan Cease are actually pretty strong. Cease is about 6 months older than Freddie Peralta. So Cease is going to be heading into his age 30 season. Peralta is going to be turning 30 during the middle of next year. And when Freddie hits free agency, it's going to be around the same time frame. So in terms of length of deal to expect, it's probably going to be pretty similar. Dylan Cease, what he puts up in production, I mean, his ERA has fluctuated the last couple of years. This past year is a 4.5. The year before, it was a 3.5 ERA. The year before that, a 4.5 ERA. So, he can kind of go up and down. Some of the peripheral numbers are still good. But Dylan Cease is someone who can eat up a ton of innings for you. I mean, over the last 5 years, he's put up 165 innings or more every single season. He's put up more than 180 innings twice in his career, 2022 and 2024. And he's a durable pitcher. He's durable. He's going to end up getting you some results. Again, it's up and down sometimes the ERA throughout the year, but he's a durable guy. And Freddie Peralta has been durable as well over the past 3 years for him. I mean, he's been 165 innings or more each of the last 3 seasons. So looking back, you have that durability. You have the guys that can throw those innings and be a consistent starter for you. But Freddie Peralta's ERAs have been far more consistent, and they have been continuing to go down. I mean, he's coming off his best season here with a 2.70 ERA. So when you're looking at money here for Freddie Peralta, whether you're thinking an extension or you're thinking just simply a free agent contract and what it's going to take to sign him, I think you can look at the Dylan Cease deal as a very strong framework for a Freddie Peralta contract. In terms of $30 million per year, $210 million is something that I think could be realistic over 7 years. I think that's something to possibly look at. Now, maybe with Peralta hitting free agency after having already turned 30 versus Cease hitting free agency having not quite yet turned 30, maybe Peralta would only end up getting 6 years. but I still think at $30 million per 6 years, 180, somewhere in that range, is very possible and very likely almost for Freddie Peralta. Perhaps even higher than that. So that's a very real possibility I think we're going to look at. So if you have hopes of a Freddie Peralta extension, keeping him around in Milwaukee long term, that's what it's going to cost you. Which probably should dash any hopes that you have of a Freddie Peralta extension with the Milwaukee Brewers. But when he hits free agency, that's going to be the type of contract to expect. Somewhere in the ballpark of $30 million per year, and probably 7 years, maybe 6 years, but definitely that kind of long-term deal. That is the impact here. The market has been set. I think there's a lot of comparables between Cease and Freddie Peralta in terms of, again, the durabilities, 165-plus innings each of the past 3 years for Freddie, each of the past 5 years for Dylan Cease. Also, over the past 2 seasons, Freddie Peralta has 24 quality starts. Dylan Cease, 24 quality starts. So you're looking at very similar types of production between these two guys, and you're, I think, going to be looking at very similar contracts when we compare them next offseason when Freddie Peralta does end up hitting the open market, rather than perhaps getting traded. Again, that could still happen this offseason, but if the Brewers keep him, it's going to be a qualifying offer, and they're going to watch him walk elsewhere for somewhere close to this Dylan Cease contract. Now, there's also has an impact on the rest of the NL Central, because Dylan Cease being off the board, he was an oft-rumored name to the division rival Chicago Cubs at the outset of this offseason, because the Cubs, they're looking at getting starting pitching. They've been connected to all those top names, Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez. They're going to be getting, one of these guys. They're going to be doing something to help out this group. And very quickly, Dylan Cease off the board, not to the Chicago Cubs. He's going to the American League, completely out of the way, and he signs for $30 million per. So this is already kind of a weak market for starting pitchers. You really kind of only have Cease and Valdez really top the market, and now that Cease is gone and he's not gone to Chicago, that's just one fewer option for the Cubs to try and get that starting pitching to compete with the Milwaukee Brewers. So that's already one guy off the board. Now you're going to be looking at more strongly at Framber Valdez, who also may have some issues. I mean, there was the time where he basically intentionally crossed up his catcher to try and hit his own catcher after he allowed a home run the at-bat prior. So there are potential issues there with Framber Valdez, and the Cubs maybe being stuck with him. If they do even end up signing him, I think that's just going to that could leave them in a bad spot in that clubhouse, potentially. You don't know if Framber Valdez is otherwise, but we have seen the moment where he let his frustrations get the best of him and took it out on his own teammate. So that would certainly concern me if I were the Chicago Cubs, if I were any team wanting to pay Framber Valdez and bring him in, that would be very concerning. So it's one of the top starters off the market for the division rival who was interested in a player of this caliber. So it's a win. It's a win for the Brewers because, again, the Brewers were not in the Dylan Cease market whatsoever. They were not even going to be coming close to offering something like 7 years, $210 for Dylan Cease. It just wasn't going to happen. They weren't really even going to be having those conversations. It's just, oh, hey, cool, he went there. Great, cool, sweet. But the real win for the Brewers here is that he did not go to the Chicago Cubs. He did not go to one of these other teams in the NL Central that's trying to compete for that division title to stop the Brewers from getting a four-peat of the NL Central title next year. So that's a big win for Milwaukee as well, as Dylan Cease has plenty of reasons to be thankful. He has 210 million reasons to be thankful here on this Thanksgiving, which also just kind of leads me to, at the end here, what Brewers fans are most thankful for here on this Thanksgiving, because we got to be thankful. There's a lot of great things going on right now with the Milwaukee Brewers. You win 97 games, the most wins in the National League this year. That's certainly something to be thankful for. You win 3 straight NL Central titles. Got to be thankful for that. Pat Murphy, Manager of the Year 2 years in a row. Got to be thankful for that. Matt Arnold, MLB Executive of the Year. That's something also for Brewers fans to be thankful for. And just really such a great team, such a great organization that they have been able to build getting the young players in, and having this team be successful, because a lot of us have lived through the tough years of the Milwaukee Brewers. Me personally, the first year I remember was 2002, when the Brewers lost 106 games. They were so bad. And for years now, we have had a period of sustained success for the Milwaukee Brewers, where making the playoffs is a regular thing. That wasn't the case for most of Brewers fans throughout history. So that is certainly something for us to be thankful for here during this holiday season. And I think the thing that perhaps I'm most thankful for with the Brewers this year, and that Brewers fans in general are most thankful for with the Brewers this year, was beating the Cubs in the NLDS. Yeah, you can call it our World Series if you want to be upset about it, if you think, oh, we should aim higher for that. But to be able to win that emotional series, to have all the history behind it with Craig Counsell, the past couple of seasons, and facing off against them. You have the first round woes the past couple of years, and then you get to face the Cubs in the NLDS, and you take it to 5 games. It's back at your house, and you're able to get the win, to eliminate them, to move on to the NLCS, to do it at home in front of your fans, to send Craig Counsell and his team packing and send them back home to the couch, send them to Cancun. I think that's the thing to most be thankful for. That just relieved so much pressure on this team, on this organization. Just an incredible job. Something that we should all be thankful for, because that took so much stress off the organization to get that monkey off their back, to be able to find that success in the postseason. Now, granted, they did end up getting boat raced in the NLCS. Yes, I mean, they had no chance against the $500 million payroll Los Angeles Dodgers. They ran into a buzzsaw with the $1 billion of starting pitchers that they threw out there on the mound. Their offense just simply couldn't compete with $1 billion starting pitchers. And it showed. So, yes, that was tough. But to be able to, vanquish the division rival, to be able to get those first round woes off your back, that is the thing I think Brewers fans are most thankful for. To have done it the way that they did over the Cubs, that was the best part of the year, I think. And honestly, also too, just kind of selfishly for me, the best part of that Game 5 victory in the NLDS was that was my birthday too. So, I mean, what a great birthday to have that gift, to have the Brewers beating the Cubs in the NLDS and advancing. That is the best birthday gift, and that's the best thing that we have to be thankful for, I think, as Brewers fans this season. But so much to be thankful for with this organization. And yeah, be sure to say it at your Thanksgiving as part of the stuff that you're thankful for. I'm thankful to be here with you and to be having Brewers Daily here every single day along with you throughout the offseason as we get ready for the 2026 championship season with the Milwaukee Brewers. And it is a great time of year, and we are seeing the hot stove really kick off now. So we'll see what the Brewers end up doing as things move along. But check Dylan Cease off the list. I'm not sure if anyone actually had him on their list for the Brewers, but you can check him off now as he's going to the Toronto Blue Jays. So that'll do it for now, and enjoy your turkey, enjoy your mashed potatoes, enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Brewers Daily.